Imagine this. You, staring at the ceiling of your dim room, the clock ticking past midnight again. Another night lost to the ghost of yesterday's mistakes. That job you quit in a haze of anger. The words you hurled at her, sharp as shattered glass. The chance you let slip through numb fingers. Regret coils around your throat like smoke from a dying fire. It whispers, "You are weak. You are nothing." And in that suffocating silence, you wonder how many more nights will you bleed from wounds that never close. Now, picture a man who faced death itself without a flicker of that poison. Miyamoto Musashi, on the Reigandō cave's cold stone floor, the 19th of April, 1645. His body, carved by 60 duels and endless roads, finally betrayed him. Fever clawed at his lungs, shadows lengthened on the walls etched with his final truths. No family gathered, no weeping disciples, just the ronin, alone with the void. He gripped his brush, ink trembling in his grip, and scrawled the Dokkodo, his 21 iron laws for the warrior's soul. Among them, the 6th, "Do not regret what you have done." As his vision blurred, as the mountain wind howled outside like the ghosts of slain foes, Musashi did not flinch. No lament for the blood on his hands, no sorrow for the bridges burned. He met the end as he had lived, unyielding, unburdened. And you, who crumble under the weight of a single poor choice. Shame burns in your chest, doesn't it? Because while Musashi carved his path through hell without looking back, you chain yourself to the mud of what was. He died free. You rot in regret. Pause. This is the steel you lack. This is the mind you must forge. In the annals of Bushido, few paths were as solitary as Musashi's. Born in 1584, in Harima's rugged hills, he was no noble son groomed for glory. A bastard child, thrust into a world of warring clans, where survival demanded the edge of a blade over mercy's illusion. By 13, he claimed his first kill against the Tomokozo, a seasoned fighter twice his age. The boy Musashi, fueled by raw fury, drove his sword through the man's guard. Blood soaked the earth of Sekigahara's fields years later, in 1600, where he fought for neither side, scavenging victory from chaos. But it was the duels that defined him over 60, each a dance with oblivion. None scarred his spirit deeper than the shadow of Ganryū Island, 1612. Sasaki Kojirō awaited, the longsword Sasaki, undefeated master of the swallow cut, his nodachi gleaming like a promise of swift death. Musashi, then 28, rowed across the straits in a borrowed boat, carving time from the dawn. He arrived late not from fear, but calculation. The sun climbed, blinding Kojirō's eyes as Musashi stepped ashore, fashioning a bokken from the oar's salt-hardened wood. No steel, no ceremony, just the weight of inevitability. They circled, waves lapping at their feet like indifferent spectators. Kojirō lunged, his blade a silver arc seeking Musashi's throat, but the ronin was water-yielding, then crashing. He sidestepped, the bokken whistling through air to crack against Kojirō's skull. The master fell, brains spilling onto the pebbles, his legend extinguished in a single, brutal stroke. Word spread like wildfire. Musashi, the demon, had slain another giant. Yet in the aftermath, as he vanished into the mists, no tremor of doubt gripped him. Kojirō had been the barrier, the duel, the forge. To hesitate, to second-guess the killing blow, would invite the blade into his own heart next time. Musashi pressed on, dueling Yoshioka Seijuro in Kyoto's pines, shattering the school's pride with calculated savagery. He burned no bridges in vain. Each act was a step on the untrod path. Loneliness became his constant companion, the wanderer with no clan, no hearth. Through rain-lashed coasts and snow-veiled mountains, he honed the Nitin Ichi Ryu, two swords as one, in empty dojos where echoes mocked his solitude. The Book of Five Rings, born of those silent years, warns, "The way of strategy is the way of nature." When you appreciate the power of nature, the disposition of forces becomes clear. But nature spares no one the pain of action. In his final wanderings, composing the Dokkodo, Musashi reflected not on regrets, but on the purity of deeds done without apology. Kojirō's death was not a stain, but a seal on his resolve. He had acted, he had won. To regret would be to deny the warrior's truth. Every strike forward carves away the boy who once trembled. Musashi carried no ghosts, only the weight of the next dawn. Pause. And in that unyielding gaze, we find the first lesson. Lesson 1. Action is the forge. Regret, the rust that dulls your edge. From the Dokkodo, Musashi commands, "Do not regret what you have done." These words, inked in his failing hand, are no gentle counsel. They are a blade to the throat of indecision. Consider the modern man trapped in the fluorescent hell of the office, fingers hovering over the send button on that resignation email. The promotion denied, the affair confessed, the investment lost in a market's cruel whim. You act, driven by the fire in your gut, only for doubt to slither in like fog over a battlefield. It whispers of safer paths, of what-ifs that chain you to the corpse of yesterday. But Musashi, after felling Kojirō, did not pause to mourn the man's family or question the god's justice. He rode back, shoulders squared, the salt spray washing away the spray of blood. In your world, this manifests as the entrepreneur who walks away from the soul-crushing corporate cage. He pours his savings into a venture raw, untested, born of nights staring at blueprints under a single lamp. The launch falters, clients vanish like smoke, regret knocks. Why not the steady paycheck? Why risk the roof over your head? Embrace it instead. That failure is the scar tissue strengthening your resolve. It teaches the market's rhythm, hones your pitch like Musashi sharpened his bokken on river stones. The application is stark. Next time impulse demands you sever a toxic tie, be it a leeching friend draining your hours or a lover who dims your fire, do it clean. Cut without ceremony, then seal the wound with silence. No apologies in the rear view. The dark consequence, if ignored, you become the ghost haunting your own life. Decades grind by, and you're the man at 55, nursing a beer in a dim bar, replaying the roads not taken. The business that could have built empires, now a what-if etched in your furrowed brow. Relationships fester into resentments. Opportunities curdle into bitterness. Your hands, once capable, tremble with the palsy of unlived lives. Alone in a rented room, the TV's glow your only companion, you whisper to the empty air, "If only." Musashi scorned such frailty. Do not. Pause. 3 beats of silence. Let the weight settle. Lesson 2. Regret is the thief of presence. It robs the warrior of his ground. Musashi etched in the Dokkodo. Accept everything just the way it is, yet tied to our rule. It demands you own your deeds as the unalterable terrain of your path. In his 60 duels, each clash was a tapestry woven in the moment. Feints, strikes, the hot copper taste of blood. To revisit them with lament would fracture the focus that saved him. Recall the Yoshioka vendetta, 1604. After slaying their patriarch in a bamboo grove duel, Musashi knew retribution brewed. He entered Kyoto's outskirts alone, baiting the clan's fury. Swords clashed in the twilight. Brothers fell, their cries swallowed by the wind. Musashi emerged, wounds weeping, but unbowed. No night spent tallying the lives ended. Instead, he bound his gashes and vanished into the wilderness. The lesson etched in flesh. Act, then adapt. For you, in 2025's relentless grind, this strikes at the heart of the half-measures men cling to. The father who snaps at his son during a fevered argument, words like arrows piercing the boy's trust. Later, the silence between them thickens, regret gnawing. Should I have held my tongue? Apologized sooner? No. The outburst was born of exhaustion, of the world's weight on your shoulders. Own it. Use it to rebuild stronger. Teach the boy the fire of unfiltered truth, the Stoic's unyielding spine. Application. When your blade falls in haste at work, firing the underperformer who's coasting on your sweat, or in the gym, pushing past a rival's taunt into a personal record, let it land. Then, in the echo, refine. Train your words like weapons, your temper like a tempered blade. The consequence of surrender? A life diluted to echoes. You drift through years as the apologizer, the second-guesser, forever chasing absolution from shadows. Bills pile like unanswered challenges. Your body softens, muscles atrophying under the blanket of could-have-beens. At the family table, eyes glaze over your tales, for they sense the hesitation in your voice, the unspoken regret that flavors every story. You fade, not with a roar, but a whimper, buried in a plot no one visits. Your gravestone reading, he meant well. Musashi's caves held no such epitaphs. Forge yours in fire, not fog. Pause. Let the loneliness seep in. Lesson 3. The past is your anvil. Regret the hammer that bends it against you. In the Book of Five Rings, Musashi declares, "Do nothing which is of no use." But in the Dokkodo's 6th precept, he extends it. What is done serves, if you cease the backward glance. His life was a ledger of necessary violences, the duel at Kokura, where he dispatched a boastful swordsman with a single thrust, or the skirmish at Himeji, blades flashing under storm clouds. Each act, pondered in isolation, might seem ruthless, yet Musashi viewed them as brushstrokes on the scroll of mastery. No regret, for to dwell invites the illusion of alternate fates. In your shadowed existence, this lesson pierces the veil of the digital age's endless scroll. The man who ends the affair, the late-night text deleted, her perfume lingering like an accusation. Guilt floods. Was it weakness? Cruelty? Embrace the severance. It was the strike that cleared the path for solitude's clarity. For the self you must reclaim. Application. Inventory your scars monthly, not with woe, but warrior's eye. The bankruptcy from a bold real estate plunge? It stripped illusions, taught the bones of leverage. The friendship shattered over a betrayed confidence? It armored your circle against vipers. Write them down in a journal bound in black leather, then burn the page under a winter moon. Release is in the ash. Ignore this, and the hammer falls inward. Regret accumulates like hoarfrost on a blade, making every swing labored, every step treacherous. You become the cautionary tale, the executive at 60, portfolio intact but soul hollow, replaying the merger you vetoed in fear. Colleagues rise past you, their decisiveness a ladder you never climbed. Health crumbles. The doctor's words, stress-related, a euphemism for the war you lost to your own mind. Nights dissolve into pills and half-remembered dreams of vigor. Your reflection a stranger's eyes sunken, mouth twisted in perpetual apology. Forgotten by the world you once hungered to conquer, you wither in a nursing home's sterile hush, whispering to nurses who nod politely but hear nothing. Musashi's anvil-shaped empires of will. Yours can too, or crush you beneath. Pause. The rain falls heavier now. Lesson 4. Regret breeds illusion. The true warrior walks the edge of reality's blade. Musashi's Dokkodo insists, think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Paired with no regrets, it frees you to act without the mirror's mocking gaze. In his wanderings post-Ganryū, he sought no accolades, only the deepening of craft. The death of Kojirō? A milestone, not a millstone. He painted, sculpted, taught each pursuit untainted by backward burdens. For the American man adrift in 2026's fractured feeds, this cuts to the chase. The bar fight you walked into, fists flying over a slight to your honor, knuckles split on concrete. Society sneers, barbaric, unnecessary. But in that chaos, you defended your ground, felt the primal surge of unbowed blood. Own it. Application. When consequence calls the lawsuit from a risky contract, the estrangement from a judgmental kin, meet it head-on. Negotiate like a duel. Precise, unemotional, eyes locked on the outcome. Use the friction to polish your strategy, turning fallout into fuel for the next charge. The shadow. If you falter, illusion consumes you whole. You spiral into the addict cycle, regret fueling the bottle, the screen, the fleeting highs that numb but never heal. Wealth slips through fingers greased by doubt. Promotions elude the man who second guesses his report. By 40, you're the reliable drone, clocking in with a nod, clocking out to solitude's maw. Lovers sense the fracture, depart for bolder shores. Your legacy? A footnote in others' stories. A name on a faded email chain. 80 looms. Bedridden. Tubes snaking your arms, the nurse asking your name as if it's a riddle. No visitors. No echoes of triumphs. Just the endless reel of regrets, playing on the theater of your mind. The curtain falling on a life unlived. Musashi balanced on edges you fear to approach. Step forward. Pause. The dojo empties. Wind through bamboo. Lesson 5. To regret is to deny the void's gift, the emptiness that births unbreakable will. In the Dokkodo, Musashi warns, do not seek pleasure for its own sake, but our rule elevates it. Deeds done, even in shadow, fill the void with purpose, if unmarred by remorse. His final duel, whispered in legends against the monk at Mount Kurama, was a frenzy of enlightenment blades parting flesh, insights parting veils. No looking back. The kill propelled him toward the cave's contemplation. In your concrete jungle, this lesson arms you against the siren of nostalgia. The promotion you seize by outmaneuvering a rival, whispers of betrayal in the break room. Regret tempts. Noble men don't climb on backs, but you did. And the corner office's view sharpened your sight. Application. Ritualize closure. After every major act, the layoff you enforced to save the firm, the debt you defaulted on to pivot careers, perform a solitary rite. Stand under rain-slicked eaves at dawn. Katana proxy in hand, a broom handle, weighted with intent. Swing once, cleaving the air, voicing the deed. It is done. Then walk away, the water cleansing, the path cleared. Shun this, and the void devours. Regret hollows you, a termite in the beam of your resolve. Projects languish, ambitions atrophy into hobbies dusted on shelves. Friends drift, scenting the rot of your indecision. At 70, you're the sage. No one seeks roomy eyes fixed on faded photos, mouth moving in silent litanies of loss. Broke, for fortune favors the forward. Alone, for trust erodes in the acid of apology. Forgotten, a whisper in winds that carry no one's grief. The mountain sunrise mocks your dimming light. Musashi filled voids with voids conquered. Yours awaits. Pause. The cherry blossoms drift, silent accusations. Now, envision it. 80 years from now, no. 80 minus your current frailty. You, withered in a sagging armchair. The room a tomb of yellowed newspapers and untouched mail. The mirror across the hall reflects a stranger. Skin like crumpled rice paper, eyes milky pools of unspoken sorrows. Broke. The nest egg squandered on therapies for a spirit you never armored. Debts compounding like interest on a loan from fate. Pension checks barely cover the canned soup cooling on a hot plate. The landlords knock a monthly guillotine. Alone. Children, if you dared them, scattered to their own battles. Calls unreturned because your voice carries only echoes of complaint, not command. The woman who might have stood beside you, a ghost from decades past. Her laughter now a dagger in dreams. Friends, long buried or buried in their triumphs, your number deleted as the relic of what could have beens. Forgotten, no legacy but a footlocker of regrets, letters unsent, deals unclosed, fires unlit. The world spins on. Men forged in steel mines, image-building empires, families, echoes that outlast stone. You, a footnote in a obituary no one reads, survived by none, the ink barely dry before it's discarded. This is the weak man's horizon. Rain on the window, bloodless and cold. Snow blanketing graves unmarked. A samurai's shadow, long and lone, dissolving into dusk. Is this your end, or the forge's call to rise? Pause. The hope glimmers, cold as mountain frost. For 7 days, you will forge the steel mind. No mercy, no excuses. This is the Steel Mind Challenge. Embrace the done. Day 1. Dawn audit. Rise before the sun fractures the sky. In the chill of your bare room, list 3 deeds from your past you regret most. The betrayal, the abandonment, the surrender. For each, write, it was necessary. It shaped the blade I wield now. Speak it aloud, voice gravel over stone. Then burn the paper in a metal bowl, ashes scattered to the wind. Feel the release or the burn if you lie. Day 2. Severance strike. Identify one tether to the past, a photo, a message thread, a memento gathering dust. Destroy it deliberately. Smash the frame with your fist. Delete the chain with a held breath. No backups, no second thoughts. In its place, sharpen a tool. Hone a knife, or if steel eludes, a pencil to sketch your next conquest. The void left? Fill with sweat push-ups until arms scream, each rep a defiance. Day 3. Duel replay. Recall a confrontation you lost to doubt, a argument folded, a risk evaded. Reenact it alone. Face your mirror self. Argue the case you silenced then. Voice the unvoiced strikes, body tensed as if blades clash. End with the killing blow. I acted true. No regret. Journal the clarity gained, the ghost banished. Night falls, Cold shower, 30 seconds. Water like needles endure without flinch. Day 4. Path burn. Walk a route tied to regret a street where you faltered. A bar of old wounds. As you tread, narrate aloud your Musashi march. This ground is mine. Deeds done, bridges ash. At the end, mark it, carve a notch in a tree, or pocket a stone as talisman. Return home. Fast until dusk, no comforts. Only water black as ink. Hunger teaches ownership. Day 5. Shadow Forge. Craft a physical reminder. Carve or draw the Dokkodo's 6th rule on wood or paper. Place it where eyes cannot flee, above your bed, on your desk. Each glance recite, do not regret what you have done. Apply it. Make one bold act today, a call to sever a dead-end tie, a pitch to claim what's yours. Document the ripple, the freedom in the wake. Day 6. Void meditation. Sit in silence, 1 hour, in the darkest corner. Let regrets rise like specters from the fog. Do not fight, witness, then for each affirm, it was the warrior's way. I am forged stronger. Rise, strike a heavy bag or wall, fists wrapped, impacts echoing loneliness. Bruises, badges of release. Day 7. Summit oath. Climb stairs, hill, mountain, if fate allows. At the peak, under indifferent sky, vow aloud to the horizon, I release the chains, my path is steel. Descend with purpose. Plan your next duel, the act that propels. This week ends not in ease, but elevation. Fail any day, start over. Weakness begs repetition. You emerge not unbroken, but unbreakable. Now, heed this command. From this breath forward, carry no regrets weight. Act as Musashi in the cave, ink your life with unyielding truth. Walk the ronin's road, lone but luminous in its severity. The dawn breaks cold, but it breaks. Seize it, or remain in shadow. Comment below. The one rule from the Dokkodo you will etch into your soul today. Speak it, or stay average forever. Steel mind demands your voice. Fade to black,